Here are the Fox 123 Classic Hunters for the 6.5 Creedmoor. I want to thank Peter for sending me these bullets all the way from Europe. These are the Fox bullets that are 123 grain for my 6.5 Creedmoor. These are solid copper with a ballistic tip on the end of it. I've worked with the Fox bullets before. Somebody sent me, I think they were 135 grains, and they were very long bullets for the 6.5 Creedmoor, and Peter believes these will do better on hogs. I want you to take a look at this bullet right here. If you didn't see my other video, it has taken just over almost 2 months to get these because of U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Take a look at this tip right here. I believe these guys pulled this bullet apart just to make sure that there was nothing inside of it, but I don't think somebody sending me a bullet from Europe would send me one that's damaged like this. So thank you, U.S. Customs and Border Patrol, for keeping all of us safe. But dang it, man, I'm going to shoot this one into a hog because I'm fairly certain even without a tip there, it's going to perform a little bit differently, but that should probably expand a little bit more rapidly. Maybe I'll even get some ballistic gel. Let me do some measurements and see what these things are weighing and what the lengths are and the diameter. All right, let me zero this out. See we're at 0. And I will write down the measurements on this. 0.851. Let me write this down. And I also want to measure it overall length too. 0.851. Very consistent. Dang. And the last one. There we go, 100% consistency. Now just to show you guys, the length is going to vary, I promise you, when I do it this way, just because these tips are not consistent because they're some kind of hard plastic 1.339. And I think advertisement has them set at 1.345 or somewhere like that. 1.338. 1.338. 1.337. Last one, 1.339. Let's do this real quick. Measure the diameter. 2.635, which is not surprising. That's where most of my Creedmoors are. 0.263. Yep. There we go. 0.2635. Yeah, they're nailing it. Nailed it. Last but not least, 100% consistency. For visual comparison, the bullet on the left is a 122 Lehigh defense bullet. The bullet on the right is my favorite Hammer 124 grain bullet. And the bullet in the middle, obviously, is the Fox 123 grain bullet. What's really interesting is just visually seeing the ogive and how much Lehigh, very narrow bullet there with the Lehigh. And the 124 actually looks a little bit longer on where it'll land on the land, so I may have to seat that a little bit deeper than what I'm going to use the charge weight for the Hammer 124 grain, because it's 1 grain different in weight, but I am going to have to check out the seating on that. Hammer bullets are at 0.672, and the Fox is at 0.851. So what I'm going to do is figure out what the load data is for the hammers and seat that 0.2 deeper into the case there. I'm going to show you something that's weak about hand priming here. I've got a typical hand prime RCBS. I'm going to make sure it's all the way in one time. Visually, I can tell you that that's shallow. Let me measure this for you. For hunters, this really doesn't matter, but if you want to get into some precision, yeah, just like I thought, look at that. Measurements at 0.000, meaning it's completely flat to the bottom of this case here. You really need to seat it at about 0.003 to 0.005, and all you have to do to get that on a hand primer is do it 3 times. One time, turn it about a quarter, turn it about a quarter, and then turn it about another quarter. And that should seat it pretty consistently. It may actually look flat. That looks good there. And now let's check out the measurement. Yeah, check that out. 0.004, perfect. Using the same charge weight as the Hammer 124 at 43.4 grains. You see I've got that zeroed out there. And I want you to hear the crush in here. It's barely a crush. Hopefully this is close enough so you can hear it. Yeah, did you hear that crack? Yeah, it sounded like it maybe cracked 2 kernels there. And here we go. Let's get this into some paper. Depending on the thermal heat signature, I'm gonna look for the sharpest corner. I typically like to aim at the bottom, so I'll either aim at this corner or this corner. And the reason I do that, it's easier for me to line up my crosshairs and put the spot right on there and aim consistently to see what the group is like. So we'll see how this does at 100 yards. Whatever my original seeding depth was, I loaded this at home and it would not chamber properly. So I went ahead and dropped it 0.004 deeper into the casing, which probably compressed it a little bit more. So I have no idea what's about to happen now. It may be a compressed load, but let's see what the accuracy is. And I'm going to aim at the bottom right corner. It's a good sharp image. No signs of pressure. I could tell you walking up to the target this is going to work. If this is the 3rd shot, which I believe it is, that's completely acceptable. This is the first 2 shots. I am fairly certain I saw that in the thermal. The reason that's okay is, remember I told you I had a compressed load. It actually crimped the case a little bit, and I'm assuming that's why it sent it flying off a little bit there to the corner, but that's going to kill us a hog. Had to raise my feeder because the biggest cow on our property was bumping it with her nose and basically draining it. And I don't know if you could tell or not, but there's a nice hole on the side of that feeder. I think somebody might have accidentally or purposely shot it. And I know the coons are definitely pulling corn out of there. I've got the pig pipe filled with vanilla extract added. And check this out. That is some super fresh rutting, like probably in the last 48 hours. So yeah, this next hunt is for you, Mr. Peter, who sent me these bullets all the way from Slovenia. So hopefully I can get out here next week. I want y'all to see how high the grass is though. Let me get off this 4-wheeler and you can see the 4-wheeler. Look at the height of the grass. So being able to see them from where I hunt up there at 350 yards is going to be a little bit difficult, but it's called hunting and not killing, and I'm definitely going to get after them this week. Stay tuned.